Welcome to the Aesthetics Injector Gang podcast. Having a gang of mentors in this industry has been a blessing that we wanted to share with you. Our core group has been traveling together and comparing notes about life and business for years. Tune in as we delve into topics with others in the industry that you are sure to love and make you laugh.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Aesthetic Injector Gang. You're stuck with me, Brandon, and I am super excited because this is the first time I've done anything like this, but I have a guest that I actually only know from social media, and I'm super excited to get to learn about her, and I'll tell you where I found her and how in a little bit, but I have Miss Hilary Becker from Columbus. And the only thing I know is that you're a nurse practitioner, you have Alibi Aesthetics, you are super fun on social media, you have the same color car interior as me, and I can't wait to figure out which one it is. And you just, I don't know, I just got a vibe from you on TikTok, and I started like scrolling and stalking you for the past couple weeks, and I was like, hey, she should come on the podcast. And we never talked before this and don't know anything besides social media. So I just thought that we could learn together. So I'll shut up and let you introduce yourself, my dear.
Hi, guys. I'm first off honored that you even found my content to be the slightest bit interesting, because I feel like I'm the most boring person on the planet. It's like when we were in middle school and people would do roll call and tell the class about yourself. I always really stink at answering that question, but I'm Hilary. Like you said, I am in Columbus, Ohio. I have been a full-time aesthetic injector for about the past 8 years now. Just on my journey in those 8 years, I have worked for a lot of personalities. So once I had just built my clientele over that 8-year span, I just figured what's the harm in just jumping right on in and opened my own practice, Alibi Aesthetics. It's been about 2.5 years now, so it's crazy how time flies. But yeah, I just, again, Columbus, Ohio, I got married, I think a little over 2 years now, 2.5 years as well. I am a psycho, and I got married in May, but opened Alibi Aesthetics in April, so a month before the wedding.
Wow.
We've been together for 10 years, so I figured, you know what? Why not just add a little bit more fuel to the fire?
Yeah, I mean, you should just combine it once. You should have did your grand opening and then, your wedding 5 minutes after.
No kidding. Yeah, we eloped in Vegas, so I should have just flown everybody out, and we could have just had a grand old time.
That's amazing. No, yeah. I will say, you said that you think your content's not engaging or anything, but I don't know how you ended up on my feed or whatever. I'm not big on TikTok myself, but I think we all have that imposter syndrome, oh, our content could be better. It could be this, it could be that, because people will compliment the crap that I do on Instagram. And I'm like, it's really nothing. It's me bitching. Today, I literally started out the morning with getting a speeding ticket on my way to yoga. So I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I get to the office and 2 people late cancel. So I'm like, this is great. So I'm like, shoving a fork in my eye. I'm like, it's okay. I understand. This is your one-time wave. And then I am like, okay, well, I have time to do my nails. So I go to the place next door, and they're closed until the 13th. So
Murphy's Law. Whenever you, completely. That's what actually really resonated with me about your content, is that we have the same vibe. It's not all glitz and glamour. Some days are really shitty, and some days are just you want to nuke someone. You're like, and when it rains, it pours. You just don't have one cancellation. You have 5 of them, and they're all all your morning appointments, but you have your 2 p.m. and then one at 6 p.m. It's never, you know what I mean? It's just always an off day, when it starts that way. Especially
Absolutely.
with a speeding ticket, you're
I know. And it's, thank God, my one injector, her husband's a cop. So I got some counsel on that. But, I definitely was speeding. So,
you had to get to yoga. You had priorities.
I do. I love to network, and I love to sweat my balls off. And it's a really good way to kind of start the day. So I left a lot of it on the mat there. I'm already feeling better. I'm sitting cross-knit in my injection chair, because why not? And I think that this is just actually how this day was supposed to go anyway, right? So we're just going to go from there. So
exactly.
I don't even know where to start, but I feel like So I used to go to Columbus when I dated somebody before my now husband, and I've been there a couple times and it's a lot of fun. So, but I only know like that gay district that's,
Yeah.
you know where it is. What is
Short
it?
North.
Yes, Short
Yep.
North. Exactly. So
Yeah.
where are you in relation to that?
We're in Gahanna, so probably about like 10 minutes away from Short North.
Oh, okay.
I would actually, and we can talk after, but I would be interested. I probably know who your ex is. It's a very like small, tight-knit community. So one of my best friends that I actually met at the hospital, he now with his boyfriend lives out in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to fly out there because next week is their Pride Week. But wires got crossed and we had to cancel our flight. But and they lived in Columbus for a while as well. So perhaps you know them, but it's a tight knit community. We're about like probably 10, 15 minutes away from Short North. So go down there for happy hours and just catch a vibe and it's a great place to be. OSU games.
Mm-hmm.
So can't go wrong. It's a fun place.
I don't know what sports are, but you can tell me later.
I don't either aside from OSU games. That's about it.
Okay. So all right. So let's get into you. So you're a nurse practitioner. How long have you been a nurse practitioner?
5 years. I actually just renewed my license with AAMP, and you do it every 5 years. So it's crazy how quickly that goes by.
Mm-hmm.
5 years, yeah.
And what did you do? Did you do bedside nursing, I'm assuming, in some capacity before you got into aesthetics?
I did, yeah. I graduated with my RN in 2015. And when I was in RN school, I was one of the students that got a preceptorship. So I got that one-on-one attention in a hospital setting. So I was pretty lucky to where that was my first job after I passed boards and just kind of had a job straight out the gate. So that was ortho. Hate ortho.
Yeah.
Just passing pills, just a little bit boring, just a lot of complaints, which I get. We all have those kind of days, but I'm like, every day is that day. So it just burned me out rather quickly. But worked in ortho for about 5 minutes, like 4 months. I just got over it quickly. And then transferred to a different hospital and then worked in ICU step down. And I think I was there for a little over a year, learned so much on that floor. Definitely the redheaded stepchild of the hospital. Like I would have 2 insulin drips, like a cardizem drip, a CWA, and just want to pull my hair out by 9 p.m. I was working night shift.
Yeah.
But I can spot respiratory distress from a mile away. Did that for about a year and then went to neuro ICU. Did that for about 6 months. And that was really hard. I took everything home with me. Very hard to disconnect and not get an emotional attachment to your patients there.
Yeah.
So left there. But in the process of me kind of being 1 foot out of the door and just, again, having that hospital burnout, I was sitting in my ACLS class and I was like, there's got to just be something else that might pique my interest, because I had no idea what I wanted to do with nursing. I just knew that the majority of my family was in nursing. You can always find a job somewhere, great job security. So I was like, where am I going to end up? Because I know this isn't it. Right. So again, back to my bestie that lived in the Short North that you might know. One day he was like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me, what are we doing? So we went to a Botox party. And I walked in and I was like, this shit is cool. It's just the beauty, it's the medical, it's everyone is overall in a good mood.
Right.
And I was like, this is it. I've always been that nurse too that was very into when microblading first became a thing. Those girls in the neuro ICU made fun of me so hard day 1 after microblading. So I always knew that I had an interest in the beauty industry, but that was so long ago that people weren't really talking about it like they are now. So I had no idea it even existed. So sitting in that ACLS class, I'm applying to every plastic surgeon's office, every med spa, and just putting out feelers, even if they weren't hiring. I was like, hey, it's Hill. Do you have time for me to meet? Want to show face pretty much. And after a couple of interviews, I landed my first job for a plastic surgeon in Columbus.
Nice.
And the rest is history.
That's amazing. So you had it first, and then you kind of the spark was ignited and you're like,
Yes.
something I think I could do.
Exactly. Yeah. I walked into that Botox party and I was like, this is just so much fun. It was something I had never seen before. And I didn't even know what I was looking for and where I wanted to end up. I just knew it and I felt it once I was in that environment, for sure.
That's awesome. Did you know, according to AmSpa, nearly 1 in 5 med spas open today launched in just the last year? In a market that crowded, standing out isn't optional. It's everything. Moxie is your edge. It's the only all-in-one growth and operating system built exclusively for med spas. More than 400 practices trust Moxie to help them launch stronger, scale faster, and run smarter with less guesswork and more profit. You get expert back coaching and compliance, high ROI marketing that predictably and repeatedly brings in your ideal patients, software built for aesthetics with built-in tools for clinical compliance and revenue, exclusive VIP savings up to 55% off pharma products and devices. Whether you're just starting out or scaling to 7 figures, Moxie gives you the clarity, support, and systems to grow boldly and sustainably. We're excited to share that AIG listeners get $500 off their launch fee by visiting www.joinmoxie.com/AIG or by clicking the link in the show notes. I know, as you allude to in some of your posts and videos, I love how you educate. So you know how you have to basically build your own resume in aesthetics. You don't just fall into a practice normally. You have to invest in yourself and the training. It costs money. It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So how was your kind of training and upskilling in aesthetics in the beginning?
I feel like it's completely different than what people are struggling with to find in present day.
Mm-hmm.
I was really lucky to where when I landed that first job with the plastic surgeon and aesthetics, pretty much the first year I was the first nurse they hired. So I was making all the surgery schedules. I was helping her see post-ops, just making sure the day was moving accordingly, H&Ps. Does everyone have their mammograms, all their blood panels, all that jazz to just make the surgery schedule run well.
Mm-hmm.
And then while I was in that atmosphere, I saw also how the med spa was running and all the injectables. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about any of that, but I knew that I was that I think is where I want to be. It was cool just to see how the everyday flow was with it. And just the conversations that you'd have with people, you just got to know them on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And that's also what I wanted to versus just seeing people go to sleep back in the OR.
Yeah.
So I advocated for myself a lot and I learned everything on the job. So advocated for myself, meaning I just was annoying like a parrot in the surgeon's ear, just saying, I want to learn Botox. I want to learn A, B, C, and D. Are there trainings? Are there reps that can come in and show me how to do these things? Or can you show me?
Yeah.
So one day she just got sick of me asking probably, but she just gave me kind of the ropes of Botox and glabella frontalis, crow's feet. This is typical dosing. This is how you determine it. And just the quick and dirty of it. And then the next day she was go for it. And my tummy was in knots. I was so freaking nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out great. And then just got my feet wet from there and started off with Botox. And then learned lips, cheeks, and then just kind of evolved from there, just learning everything on the job. I didn't have to take any specific training courses like most people do now.
Okay. Well, that's amazing though. But I like how you say you advocated for yourself because I feel like the squeaky mouse always gets the cheese. So you can't just sit around and passively think that you submit a resume in a typical fashion and you're a magical nurse injector and they're going to pay for all of your schooling. And this is the one industry where there's no guidebook. There's no direct path.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a lot of networking.
It's a lot of networking, yeah.
And it's a lot of upskilling yourself because there's a lot of resources out there. You just need to know which ones are reputable and how to get them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love how you really kind of educate on that with your comments and, talking about the legalities of it, being a business owner. I feel that too in Pennsylvania. I always say I'm the founder because I don't own my med spa. My medical director does, but I own the MSO or managing service organization that, bridges that, that organization. So, I mean, I know I'm the brains behind it, but,
Exactly. Totally. Yeah.
we're,
Totally.
we're so smart. But,
Yes.
no, that's amazing. I love that for you. And so after the surgery, you've worked a couple other places, I'm assuming, before you opened Alibi, got some
Yes.
experience, and then you're like,
Yes.
okay, I want to create my own little experience for patients.
And just wanted to see all that was out there too, because not every med spa or surgery center, wherever you are, runs the same. Like you're going to, even though like I said, I worked for a lot of personalities, I took something from every single place that I worked.
Hmm.
So I was there for about 2 years, and then I left and went to another med spa that was strictly injections, with no surgery at all, just your classic med spa. They have about like 11 locations. Um, which, can you imagine having 11 locations?
No, I mean,
Oh,
I have this one room behind me, and this is it. So,
exactly. And like I have 105 square feet in my loft, and I'm like, that is plenty. I am overstimulated and it works just fine. So 11, I was like, geez Louise. But I worked there for 9 months. Reason being, I got all my best training by far at that location. It was like a 3 month in-depth training like regimen they had. So like they knew I came with experience, but they had you with one specific trainer. You would only have a different trainer if they were out on vacay and, just living their life.
mhm.
But you would start with Botox. You would learn the nitty gritty that company wanted you to learn for Botox only. They would open up your schedule for 3 models, and you would do everything from like walking them to the back of the room, the EMR, marking everything out with guidance from your trainer if you
Mhm.
needed it, but you were pretty much just like flying solo. And if all things were checked off and you did good, then your schedule was open for it. And they would kind of do that kind of vibe for every service you could do. So it was that for Botox, lip filler, cheeks, Sculptra, and then just opened your schedule as they saw that you were ready for it. So that way you weren't just like full books open and like really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But did that for 9 months. The reason it was 9 months is the shutdown happened. So
Mm.
everyone got laid off. And then once things opened back up, I did not reapply to go back there. Went to a place closer to my house. And then worked there for about a year. I think like 3 other med spas after that. It was a lot of personalities, so much drama, so much estrogen. It was very eye-opening to me because as I was building my clientele, the last place that I worked before I opened Alibi Aesthetics, I think I was there for like probably 6 months, and I brought 500 people in that 6-month time period. So it was interesting to know how much money you were bringing in, but they weren't showing you the books. And I just kind of got red flags. And again, I took something positive from every place I was,
Mhm.
but I was like, just, I was just kind of over it. I was like, if I'm working this hard, I think it's time. I have the clientele. It's going to be okay. Everything always works out. So I just took the leap. I had a lot of mentors that are AMI trainers that ended up doing their own thing too. And they were like, girl, the hardest part is starting. It's so scary, but it'll be worth it. And so I was like, what's the worst that can happen? And I just opened my own thing. Very much learning the grass is not always greener, even though you change jobs,
Oh
so
yeah. Yep.
totally. It was a lot of jumping around, but I learned a lot from it. And I'm really glad that I ended up doing my own thing. I've been so much happier. The mental peace is worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. The control that you have, or sometimes the lack of control.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, it is what
Yeah.
it is. But like you said, I always feel like if there's something that needs to happen, at least in my life, like when the pain is great enough, I will change. So if there's something that
Absolutely.
I need to, pivot and change, it is what it is, like today. So,
We roll with it. Exactly. Like when you were having that and like just the cancellations, like when you were having that, I think it was like a mass, like 12 texts in a row. Like, can you help me reschedule? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? I'm like, is the booking portal not working today, guys? Are we like, is it down for the count? Like,
right.
there is little things like that you're just like, ugh. But
Yeah,
overall, we wouldn't trade it.
that's right. When you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
Exactly. Yes. Completely
So
agree.
what do you all offer? Are you injectable only? Do you have lasers?
Yes, it's just me. I do everything besides keep my own books.
Uh-huh.
So I do Botox, dermal fillers. I mainly partner with Allergan. I'll offer some things from Galderma. I'm very Dysport heavy though. Love me
Love
some
this part.
Botox still, but I love Dysport. Personally, for me, it just lasts longer. It's so much better for me. But Allergan and Galderma, and then fillers, Sculptra, Kybella, and microneedling.
I love that. I'm basically the
Basics.
same, except
Yeah.
I'm very like Galderma heavy.
Mhm.
So I just opened in January of this year,
Oh wow!
and
Congratulations.
yeah, it's super. Thanks. I'm super baby new, and I'll do the Reader's Digest in my life in a minute. But
Yes.
a new account with Allergan, I think, post the Ally reward changes apocalypse of last year
Oh
was
my
like
gosh! Right.
the nail in the
That
coffin
was
for me.
crazy, wasn't it?
Ugh.
Yeah.
So I just like the pricing for a new account was just crazy. But I mean, love Allergan, nothing against them.
Totally.
It's not something I can use right now in my practice, but hey, that'll
Yeah.
change. But I love all of
Absolutely.
that. I have self-fill PRP and self-filler
Mhm.
that I do love. I'm like looking around. I'm like, what else do I have?
Look
Microneedling.
at your jawline. Holy crap. Are you kidding me?
Thanks, babe. Yeah, I will say
Whoa.
I love a little bit
That's,
of radius now and then.
oh my
That was
gosh. Yeah,
the
you
most
do.
recent.
Looks so good.
But I actually had my other injector, Katie, she fixed my face because I lean on this side all the time and I sleep on the side. I've tried to sleep like a corpse. And I can't. There's no
I can't
weighted
either.
blanket. There's nothing that can saran wrap me in a bed laying like
No,
that.
my left side is so cozy. I
Mm,
just want to stay there.
right? And
Yeah,
I actually do need to do a post because she did like one syringe on this side and then a half on this to make it. And I want to put like a before and after of point 0.5. Like, what can you tell the difference? You shouldn't see anything, but that's the point.
exactly.
Undetectable.
Radius here too in the cheeks.
No, this is all contour for the
Love
most
contour.
part, I
Hmm.
think.
Hmm.
Um, I never had any cheeks. I ran away all my facial fat when I used to run a lot.
Yeah.
But I too love Dysport. I'm only on day 4, so don't judge because I know this side's moving
Oh,
a lot
please,
more. I'm
no.
like, I look very curious. But um,
Like The Rock.
I love that we both have ADHD because we've
Oh,
already went on such a tangent, so that's great.
oh my God. It's, yeah, swirl. Exactly. I have like 6 conversations at once.
But so just a little Reader's Digest about me and a reminder for everybody. So I started off, I graduated nursing school in 2009. I am an old hoe. I was transplant ICU for a couple years and I worked as an aide
Wow.
many years prior to that. I've actually been in nursing since I was like 16.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to be a chef and here I am. So go
Oh my
figure.
gosh. I love that.
You can do anything, Youth of America. You don't have to be married to that first job.
No, I can't even
Um,
boil water. Oh my gosh.
so I hate cooking now, which is so ironic. My husband does it
Yeah.
all. But so ICU nurse, and then I worked for a healthcare organization, insurance company for about 5 years, and did case management because I was tired of nights and the
Yep.
pay was better. It like at that time it was just more lucrative to kind
Hmm.
of um, work for an insurance company and kind of do what I was doing, but on the outpatient side.
Hmm.
And then I did case management for that company, or I'm sorry, not case management. I trained case managers for that company for 2 years. And then I met a software vendor when we were implementing a software. And I was like, you guys are really cool. Like, I want to be friends with you. And long story short, I ended up working for a software company for about 3 years. And I was a trainer and I was a client relationship executive by the end of it. And the company ended up getting sold. They kind of fired everybody. And it
Hmm.
was like the Titanic. Like, you could see the iceberg. And I'm like, I could jump
Racing for
now,
impact. Hmm.
try to get a lifeboat, or like
Yeah.
just wait till they, say that I can get on that lifeboat and there's no more
Hmm.
seats. So, and at that time, it was kind of the ass end of COVID. So, my friend opened up a med spa in Alexandria, Virginia. And like you, she kind of had a following, wanted to create her own vibe. And she did a dice roll, bought a space, maxed out her credit cards, opened up some accounts, and she's thriving. But she needed a practice manager after about 3 months because she was losing her mind, trying to maintain a website, could never answer the phone, blah, blah, blah.
Got
So I worked for her for about 4 years and helped her build and scale her practice to 3 locations. And I was driving to Alexandria, Virginia every other week from Pennsylvania. So everyone thought I was Looney Tunes, and I kind of was,
How
because
far is that? I'm awful at geography.
it's 4 hours each way.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're doing the most.
Yes, did the
Yeah.
most, put a lot of miles on a lot of cars. And after, doing that every other week, and now it wasn't like every day. I would stay down there for 3 to 5 days, depending on what was going on. But
Okay. You would kind of cluster your time,
yeah, I
but
had to.
still.
And it was really good. Like, we had a lot of fun, but it was very taxing on my family. I had found my second husband by then, and he,
Yeah.
in the beginning, like, it was cute, but like at the end, he was like, "You're never home," and I'm like, "Oh, you
I
like me?"
relate so hard to that. It's exhausting.
It
Yeah.
is. And when I kind of embarked on this relationship, we're still very good friends, but like as of January of this year, we parted ways. And, I'm like, I'm still going to work like probably more now that I'm opening my own practice. But he's like, at least you'll be in bed at night at home. And I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. No, I
So
totally get that.
here we
My
are.
husband and I have been together for like, I think rounding up 10 years. So
Mhm.
you wouldn't think that when you get married that things would really change that much, because like people just assume it's just a piece of paper and everything it just stays as is.
Mhm.
It was the hardest first 2 years ever for us. Just
Mhm.
it was so much pressure and like you said, a dice roll, because I mean he was, going along with just like he definitely was. It's the best support system I've ever had, and just you need that one person, especially when you are going for it and opening up your med spa, and it could totally flop. You have no idea.
Mhm.
So, but to your point, like it's your baby and it gets all of your attention. So then something has to give, and then the partner feels neglected. It was such a long 2 years. So I'm really thankful that we're kind of like coming down the roller coaster hill now and just kind of going into a plateau. But I mean, it's work. You have to want to be together for sure every day.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I don't know what your husband does. You can tell me in a minute, but
Yeah.
mine is, he works at home, but like kind of travels sporadically. So he is an interior designer by trade, but he does commercial sales. So he is kind of like all over the place, but like locally and home, or he'll go on like a 3-day trip. But he's very understanding. He knows the industry by now because I've been
Yep.
in it so long. But does your husband, is he supportive, or do you sometimes feel like a little animosity because your clients may get a little bit more attention than he does?
I definitely feel animosity for sure, especially in those beginning stages of opening the business. I didn't feel that as much when I worked for other med spas, because
Mhm.
you could a little bit easier clock in, clock out and not have to worry about it. You would just inject, get good results, clock out and go home.
Mhm.
Definitely had a lot of nights where I would just like cry because I just felt so bad, because you know that you're not giving them all the support and all the love and attention that you once did.
Mhm.
But he's a great, great, great support system. There was the last med spa I worked for, I came home after my shift and it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I was like, I'm done. The grass is not greener. Like, it's time. I just need to do my own thing. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And I was the main breadwinner, and didn't even have a second thought. Okay, like, let's do it. What does that look like? What do we got to do? What is it?
I love that.
Yeah. So very, very lucky, because that could have been a deal breaker for a lot of people. And just, it's scary. Like, you could completely fall on your face, but
Mhm.
very lucky.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so much time, dedication, and when you do things, I try to incorporate my family as much as possible.
Mhm.
I have two stepkids too. They're 18 and 20. So
Mhm.
I tried to get the older one incorporated. She's in college locally, and
Yeah.
trying to get her to learn some of the small business aspects. And it's been pretty good. I think we've kind of like sussed out like what she likes and what she
Yeah.
doesn't. I
Mhm.
kind of was trying to force her to be creative with like social media and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's
You
not her
can,
jam.
no, you cannot force that, can you? Like, you
Mm.
feel the resistance immediately.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard, as you
Completely.
know. I'm sure, posting and feeling the need to post and being on all the time. It's a lot, but um, it's I hate work-life balance because I feel like it's something you can never like 100% achieve. It's like
Yep.
situational balance where you can
Totally.
take a little bit of time off and spend it with your family and, you
Mhm.
know, dedicate. Sometimes you work a little bit harder and, you know, sometimes you have to go to a conference and things like that.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and comment. Follow us on Instagram at the Aesthetics Injector Gang.